Welcome to Seek Reality. I'm Roberta Grimes, and I am delighted that you can be with us today. Oh, my dear friends, here's a topic I think you're going to love. I so often hear from people who are freshly devastated at the loss of a loved one, and it's almost never mom or dad or even a young loved one who's gone ahead. It's usually a four-legged, treasured friend. Or usually it's a baby, a four-legged treasured baby. They don't even call it a pet anymore. I'm especially thrilled to be able to tell them that the afterlife researchers have learned that the news is always good when it's Fluffy or Fido who has gone ahead. Bereaved pet parents can be reassured that their pets are all waiting. They're young, they're healthy, they're happy, they're going to jump all over you. The news is terrific. The consistent evidence is just overwhelming. Every animal you ever have loved is waiting for you now. They're young, they're healthy, and they're having a world of fun right now. They're playing ball with somebody. There's somebody there who cares for them and loves them, but they're waiting for you. You are their special, special friend. If you've loved that animal, it's going to be there waiting for you. If you haven't loved that animal enough, believe me, he's not going to be there. But you loved them and you know you did, and they're going to be there now. While I was doing so much reading of the afterlife evidence 40 years ago, a lot of the best evidence was what had been received through deep trance mediums at the turn of the 20th century. And some of the people who then were newly arrived in the afterlife were complaining. And the one thing they really complained most about was that they couldn't get close enough to Grandma for a hug because all her, and they even swore about this, all her D dogs and cats were always in the way because every single one of them, and she had a lot of them, were always around her. And I thought that was funny at the time. Grandma had all those dogs and cats, and they were all there with her now. And so I used to laugh about it at the time when I was in my 30s and 40s, but now it's pretty serious because I had a lot of animals I used to love too, and I'm glad to know they're all waiting for me as well. The afterlife news about pets is wonderful, and here again to tell us all about it is our wonderful, Seek Reality, wonderful animal expert, Karen Anderson. She's with us for the ninth time. Karen started out as a natural psychic and who just loves animals, so she's gravitated toward becoming an animal psychic. And she doesn't, I don't think, do it for the public. She trains people, though, to do it for themselves. And she's documented her career in three books called Hear All Creatures and The Amazing Afterlife of Animals. And her most recent wonderful book is called The Pet I Can't Forget. I love this one. It's called The Pet I Can't Forget, Finding Hope and Healing with Signs from the Afterlife. And besides offering courses in animal communication, Karen now devotes her life to, this is beautiful, to helping animals who need a home toward the end of their lives. It's sort of an animal sanctuary. And she's the founder and CEO of Painted Rain Ranch. It's a nonprofit animal sanctuary where she now lives. Karen's 30-acre ranch is a project that's very near and dear to her heart. And as I say, it provides a refuge for pets that can't otherwise find a home. Oh, Karen, my beautiful friend, welcome. That was so great to have you back again.
Thank you so, so much. And I'm just delighted to be here again. And I have a little friend, Bergie.
I was trying to keep a straight face as I
I
was
know.
waiting for
As
them
soon as I
to.
start, as soon as she hears me in here, the talking starts and she wants to be a part of it. So she'll
Well,
she'll
welcome. What is
depart.
your name, little fuzzy friend?
This is Bergie. We call her the Burgermeister because she's in charge. She's at large and in charge around here. She's just a sweetie. So yeah, they're everything to us, aren't they? I don't know what life would be like without them. Her human mama passed away from cancer about 5 years ago, and so I was honored to be her second mama, and she came here to live with us at the ranch, and she's just a delight. We just love her to pieces.
Well, our pet story is that we always had pets when we had children. And then when our children had all left home and we decided we would move to Florida, which was short-lived. We after a couple of years of being chased by tornadoes, we finally decided to move to Austin, where there are never any tornadoes or well, it was hurricanes that chase us out of Florida, but there are no tornadoes here either. And we found homes for our last child pets, and we decided we were going to have no more pets because the big problem for us with pets was that you just get real comfortable with them and they grow old enough that they transition. And we decided that it's true that when you get a pet, it's like getting, you get a cute kitten or a cute puppy. It's pain in a fur wrapper. You're just real comfortable with them and then it's time for them to go home. And they do.
Yep, we
And that was
definitely
too
need
sad.
them. We need them to live longer, right? It's never.
That was the whole problem.
Mhm.
Even my last beloved horse, eventually almost 30, she went home too. And that was the end of that for horses for me. If I can't find an animal that lives as long as a person does. But then my daughter moved in with us and she got two kittens, so now we have cats again.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, and we love them to pieces. Oh my goodness, my husband is absolutely a fool for those two cats. So what can we do?
I've gone down the path of I'm never doing this again. It hurts too much. I can't endure the pain anymore. And then I get to a point where I think, but there's that one, and there's that
Yeah, yeah,
one,
yeah.
and that one needs my help, and
When
that one
you
needs
need
my
a
help.
home, that's it. They need a home. But
They
we've
do.
decided no more dogs, but we do seem to have these two cats, and I think we'll always have cats.
Yeah.
I think,
I have I
but
I have I have several here. They're mostly seniors. They mostly have a lot of health issues, but that's what we do. We take in the ones that no one else wants.
yeah,
So they come with a laundry list of medications and issues and problems. But you know what I find too, Roberta, is that once they get here and they acclimate and they realize you're safe, you're loved, they sometimes get better with health issues. Like those things resolve. Like whatever they were struggling with before they came here seems to lighten and in some cases go away completely. So the
that's interesting.
power of love, right?
Yeah, the power
Power
of
of
love.
love. So that's one of the blessings for doing the work that I do, but it's also very painful because sometimes we will get in a new rescue and they're not with us very long.
Yeah,
But
it's hard. It's hard. And my husband never warmed to cats, but now he's a fool for these two. I don't know how to put it.
they always go to the ones who don't like them the most, right? And they get right up in their face, and
yeah,
cats are so cool.
yeah. No, he really loves these two cats. It's kind of funny to see. Yeah, he softened up. But now you decided that you were going to really give a home to all these old animals. Dogs too,
Yes,
right? You
and
take in dogs too?
not all of them are old, but generally speaking, the ones that are older are always overlooked at the
Yeah.
shelters. They're often, they want people go for the kittens and the puppies and the little ones and the cute ones that can, be with them for a long time, just like you were saying. And I realized that everybody deserves a second chance, and many of those animals are there at no fault of their own. Their humans just let them down, or they were lost somehow and couldn't be reunited with their family. And it breaks my heart to think that animals are sitting in shelters in 2 foot by 2 foot metal cages, some of them, and they don't know what it's like to have love and a family and a home and a backyard and uh, to walk through the grass and the flowers and the trees and to watch birdies or whatever they want to do. So I decided to open my home to becoming a nonprofit sanctuary. And we do have 30 amazing, beautiful acres here in Eastern Washington. We're nowhere near Seattle. Everybody thinks
It
as
is
soon as I say
beautiful.
Washington, they think, oh, Seattle. No, I'm actually closer to Idaho and Canada. So if you go look at the map, Seattle is on the coast. We're as far away from Seattle as you can possibly get.
And
So
the thing is, most people don't realize how beautiful that area is.
they don't realize because they just think of, kind of the coastline. And we actually have 100-year-old evergreen pine trees surrounding us. We have the birch, they're all turning yellow right now because it's fall here in the inland Pacific Northwest, is what we're called. And it's truly a 20-minute ride to Idaho for me and an hour and a half or 2 hour ride to Canada. So I'm up in that northeast corner of the
Oh,
state.
that's such a beautiful area. Just,
Very pretty. So Coeur d'Alene and Spokane are the two biggest cities, but they're both over an hour south of here. So we're
yeah.
very, very far removed from the big cities. We're out here with deer and wild turkeys and raccoons and skunks and all kinds of creative
Yeah.
bears. I've seen three cougars. So we have those around too. Moose, all kinds of,
Good deer.
yeah.
Yeah, be a little careful of the cougars. They're
Oh,
not
yeah.
necessarily there to
I
pet.
can't believe I've seen them 3 times because you usually don't see them. They see you, but you don't see them. So
Yeah.
it's truly gorgeous. The animals have access to about a 2.5, 3 acre backyard that's fenced up to 8 feet high. So it's fully enclosed, so they can't get out, nothing can get in, and they are safe to
Yeah, you'd have to do
spend.
that for the cats. Otherwise, you'd have people like, the
Yes,
cats, what's going on with the cats here?
yep. We've had a few try to test the limits of that fence, and fortunately, it's just too much. By the time they get up to the top, they decide they don't want to be up there, so they come back.
Yeah, yeah. It's beautiful where we are too. And it's actually, there's a lot of wildlife here, even though we're pretty close to, we're right in actually the Austin proper, but in a very quiet area of it. I can be in downtown Austin in less than 15 minutes, and yet we don't have cougars, but we do have foxes and coyotes. So we're noticing fewer and fewer squirrels. I'm sad. That's kind of sad. But I do feed the deer. I feed the deer every day. We we buy corn. Did you know there was a tremendous oversupply of corn this year produced in the United States to the point where you can buy corn to feed the deer so cheaply that it actually costs more to ship it than the bags cost.
I didn't know that. That's
Well,
good
you
to
can just,
know.
if you want to feed
Definitely.
the deer outside your house, you certainly can do it. It's very cheap. Anyway, so but it's wonderful to be surrounded by wildlife. I mean, the skunks do come and the squirrels eat everything eats our corn, but the main thing that eats our corn is the deer, and I just love seeing them right outside my office window. Just beautiful.
We have generations of families coming in here on a daily basis. Right now, they're getting apples and pears from our fruit trees because everything falls at once. So, of course,
Yeah,
we share it with the wildlife. So, they are always here looking for their treats.
yeah. It it's a beautiful thing. But so you hear as I hear from many bereaved pet parents, and you have nothing but good news to give them.
I have only good news today. I can tell you without any hesitation that the the animals, the companions, the pets, they're really family, right? They're our best friends. They're the best part of us. They really are okay in their spirit world, which is all around us. It's not some faraway place. It's
Right.
not up in the
Excellent point. Important
clouds.
to say.
Yeah, it's not in another universe or galaxy or anything like that. It's actually very much all around us. In fact, when they And the animals have shared this with me, and they take me on these little journeys. So if I were doing a session with a departed pet, I would ask them, well, what's it like? How does it feel when you leave your body? You know, what happens at the end of your life? Some of them would go into great detail, others wouldn't, not for any particular reason other than some are just more talkative than others. But the ones that did share with me would show me this an amazingly incredible, exhilarating journey that they would take from the moment they left their physical body behind. And this, Roberta, I think is really important to know too, is it's not when we see them take their final breath. And if you've ever had to be in the room with the veterinarian when we say goodbye, the veterinarian will say, you know, they're gone or their heart stopped or whatever. They're long gone. That's just the physical body, and you're seeing the results of the physical body ending.
Hmm.
But the soul, the part that you love, that personality, that sweet little face or big face or whoever they are, furry or feathered or whatever, they've already bolted into their next dimension, which is the afterlife. And they feel absolutely no pain. They have no hesitation. Even if you see physical clues that the body is doing this or doing that, which is very disconcerting. And I've had to go through that myself, and it's terrible to watch. But I promise you, they don't take that experience with them. That's unfortunately for us to unsee or to unexperience. But their soul is already on their journey, and they're ready to go. They're zooming around, they're exploring their new afterlife in this weightless dimension, and they're zipping around. And surprisingly, they're never sad like we are about the end of their life. That's a tough one because we want them to miss us, right? We want them to be sad that they're no longer with us. I understand that, but also keep in mind that the afterlife is so love infused
Yes.
with your love that
Yes.
they feel so complete. It's like jumping into a pool of water, and all that pool is pure love,
Your love, of course.
totally surrounded by it. So
Yes.
they're not left with that emptiness that you and I are left with.
Yes.
They
Yes.
have kind of the best of both worlds, really.
Yes.
So they're doing their thing and experiencing their afterlife. They know no limits, no bounds. They can go anywhere, do anything, go with you to work, go with you to the store, stay at home with you, cuddle with you, go in the yard, go in the barn, wherever. If they're birds, they can fly around, do whatever they want. And they are absolutely perfect in every way. They're immediately greeted by a soul being, a light being, a family member, another animal companion, an angel, like the one over my shoulder here. There's always someone there to greet them. They're never alone, they're never lost, and they are never scared.
Never scared, never sad, always joyous. The happiest you have ever seen your animal, that's how they feel.
Yes, and
All the time.
when they present to me during the session, that's how I see them. Exuberant, happy, bouncing around, playing. I've had spirit dogs bring me a tennis ball and want me to play with them with this imaginary invisible tennis ball. They'll bring it to my lap or put it on my leg, and they'll want me to play. Or they, you know how they pop you with their nose when they want you to come
Yeah,
on, throw the ball, throw the ball.
yeah.
They'll
Yeah,
they'll
right.
do that. They'll do that. Or they'll come into my office here, if like it's a cat, you know how cats like to rub up against your legs. I'll have
Yeah,
this all of a sudden sensation that someone's rubbing on my leg, but when I look down, there's there's nobody there.
yeah.
And I sometimes know who it is, sometimes they don't know who it is, or sometimes it was whoever I was communicating with. But there really is no need for us to spend one moment worrying about them, fretting about them,
or
being
being.
anxious
uh,
about them. Absolutely zero need for that.
And they want us to be happy because they know for certain they're going to be with us again. And there's no end to that reunion. No end.
There's no end, and they are very accepting of this new experience where
Yeah.
we fight it and we don't want it and we struggle with it. We lose sleep over it. We beat ourselves up. We second guess every decision we made or didn't make. And the our companions don't do any of that. They don't pass judgment on if we opted for a surgery or a treatment. They don't say, well, you could have done this or
No,
you
no,
should have done
no,
that.
you're right. No, they'll never, ever judge us for anything we ever did.
No,
And they're
they
always
know.
grateful. By the way, they also are grateful if we put them to
Yes.
sleep. That's the great gift we give to them. If they're in pain, thank you. They always say thank you. Thank you that you let me go. I was in pain. There was no way out of that pain. Thank you. Thank you for that.
It's this beautiful thing, Roberta, that they trust us 100%
Mhm.
with their well-being and managing them. Even if you think in your mind, I still have some cat hair floating around here. Um,
Well, you have a cat, so
I
therefore.
know. Even if you think that perhaps you said goodbye too soon,
No.
they don't ever look at it that way.
Mhm.
The majority of us wait too long. I've been guilty of that. I try not to do that anymore, but sometimes it's tough, because they have good days and they have bad days, and then they have really good days and then they have really bad days. So it's hard to tell. Even for me, I have to kind of remove myself from the situation and try to look at it objectively. And it's really tough. But even if they transition young, or if we think we said goodbye too soon, none of that goes with them. And all of that pain that you're putting yourself through, that remorse,
Never
you
have that kind of remorse, says they don't blame us no matter what the decision was that we made.
no,
Too
it's
much,
all,
waiting
it's
too long,
all,
doing it too
yes,
early. They never
right,
judge us for that, ever.
right. It's almost like it's unnecessary to spend all of that time, effort, and energy dwelling on what you did wrong. Think about that. Your companions love you. They're excited. They're with you. They're around you. They're following you. They're here. They're with you. They're going to work with you wherever you're going, vacation. They want you to be happy, to live your life, to be joyful because they benefit when you have good energy. When you're putting off loving feelings and happiness and you feel good and you're enjoying yourself, that's like spiritual joy and fuel to them. So they benefit from that. When you're grieving and hurting and your energy is low and you're pulled in, they can feel that too. Doesn't hurt them, doesn't harm them, doesn't stop them from their journey. But think about this. Wouldn't it be more fun to hang around you if you were this joyful, happy, loving person? So they're going to benefit more when you live your full and happy life. And however you want to process that, don't avoid your emotions. Don't do that. Honor them. I actually think you should lean into them, not in a dangerous way, but I think you should lean into your emotions because that emotion that you're feeling, that grief, that pain, that heartache, where it physically hurts in your chest, I've experienced that. That's love. And love never ends. So, in essence, grief never ends because you don't want to cut off your love to them. And when they go, that feeling of, gosh, I sure wish I could pick them up or hold them or pet them or love them again. That little strand is always going to be there. So, you're always going to feel that tug on your heartstring. I don't think it ever ends. I don't think grief ever says, okay, you're done grieving. And then boom, you're okay. That's never happened to me. It just kind of stretches like a rubber band and it gets a little bit thinner for me. So I don't feel it quite as thick as when the rubber band is right here and it's dense and it's thick. But grief gets a little bit thinner for me. It's never really gone. And think about this too. When I mentioned that they're always greeted by a being of light, a loved one, family member, another animal companion, I also believe that there is a small part of us, an essence of us, that remains in the afterlife. They call it going home, right? When we pass away. So think about that small part of you, that essence of you being there to greet them when they leave their physical body. So when you finally go home, when your day comes to go into your afterlife world, then you will reunite with that small little essence of you and you will be complete again. You will be with them again. And it's this big happy reunion.
It isn't a small part of you. We calculate that it's about 60% of your mind that you leave
Oh,
behind.
that's even better, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that Mikey Morgan, who's a frequent our guest expert, he's our expert on the afterlife, really, because he's a sixth level being. We calculate that it's about 60%, and he says we pack it up in a suitcase and leave it behind and
That's even better.
strip
I
down
love
to
that.
fighting form when we come here with a part of our mind which is designed for rapid learning. And when we go home, we reunite with most of our mind, which contains our eternal memories. We suddenly remember so much more, and we suddenly get so much more. And there we'll see a lot of old friends we had forgotten we had, and so many things. And yeah, our beautiful pets, not just from this life, but from other lives. It's a wonderful. Going home is an experience. You can't kill yourself, by the way, and get that experience. This is a natural homecoming. When you come to your natural homecoming, it's a joy that we've had before and we will have again. But when we go home from this lifetime, you cannot imagine what a beautiful, beautiful experience that's going to be for each of us. And part of it will be reuniting with that pet you can't forget, really.
Absolutely. And how much more beautiful can it be that the essence of you is there to greet them when they make their transition to
Yes,
the afterlife.
yes, yes.
So
That's why
truly,
they don't miss us because basically they never lost us.
exactly. We mourn that. We have the
You don't have the
emptiness
little
here.
fuzzy thing, little fuzzy guy. But if you really need to have a dog in your life to walk, a cat in your life to sit in your lap, the shelters are full of animals
Oh,
that need to be loved. It doesn't
it's so
replace,
true.
and you're not being disloyal to your animal, but there is somebody new who would love to be loved.
And that love that you give that new fuzzy, furry, feathered being in your life translates to more love for those that have passed away. Because again,
It's
when you express that love in any way, even if you get back into watercolor painting or gardening or cooking or whatever your passion or your joy is, it's coming from a place of love. That's a real thing that goes out in waves and they can feel that and benefit from that.
Yes, of course. There's no limit to love. That's the one thing there's no limit to. The one thing. The more love, the better. So
Yes,
it's
and I
not being disloyal to
not
go
at all.
and find an animal that needs you. And they will speak to you in the shelter. They'll say, I'm the one. And you'll say, okay, I'm so glad I came today and you were here. And you'll bring that little puppy or kitten or older animal home. And you'll say, okay, I'm so glad I went today because you were there and you needed me. And now we're a family again. I have this beautiful, wonderful new member of my family to make me happy, and I can make this animal happy who otherwise maybe would have been killed.
That's right.
Think of
And
the joy you can give to this new animal in your heart.
exactly. And many times your departed companion will send you or guide you toward your new companion.
I have been told that's true. I've not been given evidence of it, but I've been told that sometimes that new animal actually is in some way a reincarnation or a part of the animal you've lost. I don't know if that's true.
So always trust your intuition. If you feel drawn to a particular animal, or if you keep going back, let's say you're scrolling through the internet and looking for someone in a shelter and you keep getting pulled back to a certain one, that's what you should pay attention to.
Oh, yes. Oh, no question. Yes.
Yeah, so choose intuitively, absolutely. And another concern that I hear about all the time is, especially after I post a video, I'll hear from someone who says, Karen, I haven't received any signs. I can't feel their presence. Why? Why can I not sense them? Does that mean they're gone? Does that mean, we're not connected anymore? They're just in this such a sad place. Grief is not fun, and they're
No,
not feeling or sensing their companions at all. And it hurts. It's painful because we want that reassurance that they're still there, they're still with us, they're still around us. And some will even say, well, I felt the presence of my other companion right away. I sensed their energy right away, but this one I didn't feel, or I can't sense, or I don't have any dreams about. And I hear this a lot. And you have to remember every animal is different.
that's true. Very different, like people are different the same way.
That's right. And while, you know, you may like green bell peppers, to me, I'm gonna run away if I see a green bell pepper on the
They won't
menu.
jump out and bite you, promise. They won't.
I'm out, not going there. And so animals are the same way. We have to realize that some are really good at letting us know that they're around. Others are not very good at it. But there's also this: when we are so close to them, so bonded, if this is your soulmate, you're actually merging your energies. So even if they've transitioned, their energy is still merging with you because you're almost like one soul. You're two hearts that beat as one. So when things merge so close, it's hard to tell apart your thought versus their thought,
Right.
your presence
That's true.
versus their presence.
That's right.
It's so close. And if you have that experience where you're just not sensing or feeling or dreaming about your companion, I have found that the ones who are around you the most are the ones that you can't feel or sense or dream about because they're literally with you the most, and you become desensitized to that presence. It just becomes natural, normal. You just think it's you.
They're a part of you.
Right. So never feel that they are gone. They will never be gone. You guys are stuck with each other for eternity.
And isn't that a wonderful thought?
It is. I love it. Eternity is a long time. And I get asked this too. Well, what if they have reincarnated and gone to somebody else? You know, what
They
if,
don't
what
do
if, what
that.
if? We're always looking for ways to either, blow holes in a story or discount something,
They
right?
just want to be so reassured,
They
Karen.
do.
They're trying to close all the loopholes that might have let their happiness somehow escape, and it just doesn't escape. No,
It
they
doesn't.
animals don't reincarnate like that. It's just
No,
that animal is part of you forevermore to all
that's right.
eternity. That's
That's
it.
right. And
That's
then this is a terrible thing, but I had someone reach out to me that had a session with a communicator who I don't know. And unfortunately, she was told by this communicator that her pet had reincarnated and was with someone else, was off having this beautiful life, and wasn't coming back to her ever.
what a
And I
horrible
just,
thing. That's absolutely not true. If anyone has ever told you
I
that,
know.
run from that person because that is not a true psychic.
And of course, this person was completely devastated, and it took forever to pick her up off the ground and get her to realize that it just doesn't happen that way.
Does not.
And it really is the most unbreakable bond. We have an unbreakable bond. Even if you were to reincarnate 100 times and that companion of yours reincarnated 200 times, you're still intertwined. You're still connected. It's like the fabric of your souls will always be connected and you will always come back together. It,
Here is
it
how it
just,
seems to work. Dogs, cats, all of those, all animals, deer, my deer outside my window, are all part of what's called an animal group soul. But it is your love for your dog, for your cat, for my love for my horse that separates it from its group soul and has it uniquely incarnate as this separate dog, cat, horse that is your love. Your love makes that happen, and its love for you. And it incarnates uniquely then. And when it dies, when it transitions, or I try not to use the word die because they never die, but when they transition without having loved a human being, they transition back to the group soul of cats, or of dogs, or of deer, or of horses. But they transition uniquely as your Fido, Fluffy, Bo in my horse's case, and are waiting for you. That animal is now a unique entity and always will be bonded to you. It's your animal,
yes,
not
like
anybody else's
DNA.
animal.
It's like the DNA imprint is unique to
That's
you.
right. That's right. Your animal. That is your animal for all eternity. You and your love have made that happen. So it's impossible for it to then sort of fly off and become somebody else's animal. That animal is
Right. I
this.
know,
I've
it's just
been studying this for
terrible.
50 years, kiddos. This is not anything I've just made up. I really needed to know this stuff.
Yes, yes.
Don't
So
worry. And if anybody tells you any garbage like this, just tell that person have a nice life, but never talk to that person again on for any purpose at all because they don't know what they're doing.
I know it was just
I'm so
absolutely
sorry you heard that
crushing.
lie.
And I'm sure that this has happened many, many, many times where an irresponsible person has said something like that. And, they don't realize the devastation they cause. I think
They
they're
because people trust the lie, don't ever trust a lie.
right.
Love always wins. Love always wins. Whatever the question, love is always the answer. Always the answer.
Yes. So this brings me to my next most often asked question. Well, what about the animals that don't have a family or wild animals or livestock, or what about them? What is their experience? And we know that our pets are bonded to us, but what happens to everyone else that doesn't fall into that? They have a special human, someone. And I love all animals, so I want them to have that good experience too, that beautiful experience. I want it. But what really happens? Well, we won't really know until we get there, right? Until we see it and experience it for ourselves.
They go to a group soul.
They go to this
I'm
group
again part of a group
consciousness.
soul, this
Yes.
undifferentiated energy, which is the group soul of their kind.
Yes.
They're fine, they're happy, it's all good, but they don't need to differentiate. Love hasn't called them to differentiate into a unique being. If and when they're ever loved by a human being, they will differentiate, but they haven't done that yet.
And they're infused in love, just like a
That's right, they're
beloved
infused in a
companion.
group love, but love is always the answer. It's not important for them to be separate love. It's important to them for them. It will be important for them to be separate love once they are humanly loved. We don't understand quite the process, but we know what the result is.
We do. And I've communicated with thousands of animals, all different kinds, wild animals, companions, strays, you name it. And if the animal is in the afterlife, they, this sounds terrible, they are so much more balanced than the ones that are still here in their physical bodies in general. They come through so perfect in every way. They are so happy and so willing to share information or experiences, where animals that are still here in physical form, they might not want to upset their humans, so they might withhold something from me, or
Yeah,
they don't want
yeah,
to
of
get in
course.
trouble.
Because there's no fear there. They have nothing to
Right.
fear. There's only love.
So
Absolutely right.
once more, we don't have to worry about those in the afterlife. And it was a big shock for me, because at some point I wasn't sure what was going on once the animal made their physical departure from this earth. And then slowly, one by one, I started having sessions and I started hearing from the animals. And Roberta, there were common tales that I would hear. There was a common ground of experiences. While unique in each of them, there were some common things that I kept seeing, some patterns develop. And I thought, wow, this is really amazing. How could it be the same for these animals who don't even know each other to experience something so similar when they leave their body or when they experience the end of their life? And that's what made such a believer out of me, because I'm always like this healthy skeptic. I have another cat that just wandered back in. This is a different one this time, but I'm a healthy skeptic, and I encourage everyone.
You have to be a skeptic or you'll believe anything. That's just
That's
a
right. And but you need knowledge, you need information, you need experience. And it's so true that the the people, the humans that know the least about a topic, generally have the
the strongest opinions. Isn't that fun?
most negative thing to
Yeah.
say about that topic, right? Oh, well, that's hogwash. That's this, that's that. Well, what do you know about it? Well, give me an example. They can't tell you because they haven't done their homework. They
That's
haven't
right.
experienced. You and I have experienced. You have, decades and decades of experience. I'm at almost the 30-year mark, so I'm right behind you as
Yep,
far as
that's right.
time
And you're
invested.
concentrated in the afterlife of animals, so that's I have I have incidental experience in that area. Yeah, that's right. That's
So you
right.
have to consider the source, you have to consider who you're talking to. I would never go to an electrician and ask him about the plumbing in my house.
That's
So
very true.
you
Oh,
got
so
to
true.
consider who you're getting this information from. How informed are they? How knowledgeable are they? How much experience have they had with this? And I love hearing from the greatest skeptics and cynics who say, "Oh, there's no such thing as the afterlife. There's no this. There's no that." Okay, I honor that. That's your belief, but can you give me an example, or what is your basis of coming to this? And they can't. They can't. They're just going off of a fear within them that they want to negate anything in that genre or anything
Right.
in that on that topic. And so I always ask for, well, share your experience. Well, where do you get your information? Where is this coming from? So you really have to think about that when you are on the journey of understanding what happens when your pet maybe is getting older, or towards the end of life, or maybe they've even passed away. You have to really go to the experts, the people who've done the work in the trenches, the ones that have the backing and the experience. And even then, Roberta, I say, don't take 100% of what I say. Take what resonates and leave the rest.
Yeah.
It's not everybody has all the answers. I certainly don't. And it can't be. I'm just Karen. I'm just a human. I'm just having my experiences, but I will share everything I have learned, and I'll share as many experiences as I can. But I wouldn't want anyone to take 100% of everything I say to be truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God. It's my experience. They might have a different experience than me. So I'm always of, I'll take what resonates with me and then I'll leave the rest behind. And that's what I
We are,
encourage.
we have so run over our time. I just noticed what time
Uh-oh.
it is. But you know what? We've been worth every minute. I so love talking to you.
Oh, thank you.
What do you want people to take away from our conversation?
Love never dies.
Love never dies. So beautifully said. And so true. But the one thing I think that you and I both know for certain, and I would stake my own life on it 1,000 times over, your pets are all fine. If you loved an animal in this life and you said goodbye to it and kissed it on its head, believe me, it is waiting for you, guaranteed. I would stake everything I own and everything I ever could possibly own on that fact because I have seen that 1,000 times over. And I love being able to tell that to people that this isn't even a question. If you loved that animal is going to be waiting for you. It's your love
Absolutely.
that made that animal a separate being waiting for you and loving you from where it is now and can't wait to see you. And that's to me such a beautiful thing to know and to be able to tell people. And I have told so many people, and so have you. And so bless you, darling, that you are telling people that now. And where we're going to give people the way that they can get in touch with you. And can they give to a little money to the foundation for
Oh,
your
please. We are would be so grateful. Our sanctuary is very easy to find. You can find us by going to my website, which is very simply my name, KarenAnderson.net. Or you can go straight to the website of the nonprofit, which is lasthomeforpets.org, and everything is spelled out FOR, lasthomeforpets.org. You can also book a session with one of my gifted colleagues, animal communication, afterlife healing. We even have pet portraits on there, some beautiful artists. And each one of those colleagues donates a portion of the proceeds to the animals in need. And it's tax deductible 100% where allowed by law for you, the client. So check it out. I also offer coaching for anyone who wants to learn animal communication because anyone can do this if you have the heart and soul that you want to learn. And 100% of that coaching goes to the animals on the sanctuary. And it is my books, proceeds from my books go to the nonprofit. And I also have a free app called Pet Loss, Hope, and Healing. You can search in Google Play or on the what's that called? The App Store for iPhone and download. And there's tons of resources and articles and videos and information in there if you're struggling with the loss of a beloved companion. And thank you, Roberta, so much for having me back again. I'm always so grateful. Thank you.
Well, just stay where you are. I want to talk with you after we get off. I just have to tell everybody who our guest will be next week. But this has been so beautiful, my darling. Hold on just a moment. Oh, hasn't this been fun? Oh, I love talking with her. And so once again, we are at the end of our time together for this week. But this has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. I am so happy you could be with us today. Please never forget that you are a powerful, eternal being. You are, and you never began and you never will end. And when you get that, it really does change everything in your life for the better. Next week, our guest will be someone else who's a lot of fun. My dear, dear friend Peter Wright will be with us for the 24th time. Peter has been a close friend of mine, really, for the last 15 years. I met him at a conference in California, and he's a certified hypnotherapist based in Santa Barbara, California. He holds the distinction of being one of only 40 board-certified past life regression therapists in the United States. He has more than 25 years of experience working with thousands of clients on a variety of kinds of problems that he can help. And he's worked with many Seek Reality listeners, and on occasion I'll hear from someone who has been helped by Peter, and he'll tell me what the problem was and how he was helped. So I kind of love having him back to talk again about the kinds of things he can do. And he always has some kind of little treat for us to talk about. And so we can kind of wink at one another about and just enjoy. And so join us next week and hear about what else Peter has on his mind to share with us. And today we've been talking about with our wonderful friend Karen Anderson, who is our very dear guru of all things animals in the afterlife. She loves animals, and of course when she discovered she had a gift for being a psychic, she became an animal psychic originally. And since then, she's gone on to write beautiful books, which she's talked about. And she, in general, has just done so much for animals. I'm really very grateful that I'm able to give her some publicity in this field. And we really don't have any more time to talk. I'm sorry to go over, but I always just love talking with my friends. Meanwhile, therefore, this has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Please enjoy, please make the most of this coming week in our one reality, always knowing that you are a powerful, eternal being. You are, and you in particular, in all of this universe, you are infinitely, eternally, and perfectly loved.